I'm anxiety. Where can I put my stuff?
I have nothing but positive things to say about Inside Out 2. Based on Pixar's recent track record, I was expecting Inside Out 2 to end up something like Incredibles 2 or Toy Story 4. Really, really good, but not quite great, and certainly not as transcendently, mind-blowingly amazing as the movies that came before them. But I was pleasantly surprised, because Inside Out 2 is transcendently, mind-blowingly amazing. It lives up to the original and maybe even surpasses it in some ways. It adds some great new characters to the ensemble, it expands on the franchise's impressive psychological world building, and it understands anxiety better than any other film I've ever seen. Inside Out 2 is Pixar's funniest movie in years, delivering a big laugh every few seconds, but it also takes plenty of opportunities to tug on the old heartstrings. Suffice to say, Pixar is back with a vengeance. This video will contain mild spoilers for Inside Out 2, but I'll try to spoil as little as possible. Inside Out 2 is a much messier film than the first one, with a lot more going on, but it's customary for a sequel to tell a bigger and more sprawling story, and the messiness of the film is thematically appropriate given that it's all about the messiness of adolescence. As Riley's emotions get more complicated, so does the storytelling. And even though the structure is a bit messier and the characters are spread out a bit more, there's nothing in this movie that doesn't need to be there. Every scene, every plot beat, and every character moment are all there to serve this poignant story of Riley and her emotions adjusting to this daunting new stage of life. Just as the first film captured every universal truth about early childhood, Inside Out 2 touches on all the relatable foibles and insecurities of becoming a teenager. Part of the fun of the first film was the really creative world building, turning psychological concepts into tangible visuals, like the Dream Studio or the Personality Islands or the literal train of thought. And Inside Out 2 expands that world building and introduces plenty of fresh ideas, like a sarcasm, a vault where all of Riley's secrets are locked away, and a literal stream of consciousness. And the most breathtaking visual that the sequel brings to the table, and the crux of the film's themes, is Riley's belief system, imagined as a beautiful, luminous tree that gives Riley her sense of self.
I play Envy. She's very small. I got to do like a lot of really fun, ridiculous things with my voice. She picked me. She picked me. Did you see that on me? She picked me. Sometimes it's really high. Very good. Sometimes it's very low.
Oh, we are so cool right now.
Sometimes it's like very muppety.
Bop, bop, scabada, bop.
The voice cast once again carry the movie and take you along on this crazy adventure with the characters. Amy Poehler gives a really nuanced performance as Joy, struggling to hold it all together and stay positive. Phyllis Smith does a great job of showing Sadness's struggles with self-worth without rehashing or undoing any of her character development from the first film. Lewis Black continues to be the perfect choice to play Anger, bringing the signature rage of his stand-up persona to a kids movie. It's a shame that Bill Hader and Mindy Kaling didn't come back for whatever behind-the-scenes reasons, but their absence isn't jarring, no offense to them, because their replacements do a fine job. Tony Hale has just as much fun with the role of Fear as Hader did, and Liza Lapira embodies Disgust's mean girl attitude just as well as Kaling did. There are also some great new additions to the cast when Riley turns 13 and all her teenage emotions move in. After stealing the show as April in last year's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, Iowa Debris' hilariously high-energy turn as Envy solidifies voice acting as one of her many talents. Paul Walter Hauser has one of the toughest jobs in the movie with the role of Embarrassment. He has to give a voice performance as a character who avoids speaking to people at all costs, and he knocks it out of the park. And I got a kick out of every deadpan line delivery from Adele Exarchopoulos as Ennui. But the real standout of the movie is Maya Hawke as Anxiety. After this, I don't want to ever hear anyone call Maya Hawke a nepo baby ever again, because she's just a great actor, no matter who her parents are. Hawke is really funny in this movie, but the performance goes so much deeper because she really captures the essence of what anxiety is. She's constantly flustered, constantly convincing herself that her destructive ideas will be good for Riley, constantly thinking of horrible what-if scenarios and coming up with ways to avoid them, and when she gets overwhelmed, she turns into a big whirlwind that takes over Riley's mind and blocks out all her other emotions.
We all have a job to do. You make Riley happy. Sadness makes her sad. Fear protects her from the scary stuff she can see. And my job is to protect her from the scary stuff she can't see.
I've spoken before on this channel about my own tragic struggles with anxiety and panic attacks, and I feel like Inside Out 2 completely gets it. I've never seen a movie that understands anxiety as well as this one, because it understands where anxiety is coming from. Anxiety may be the villain of Inside Out 2, in that she's the antagonistic force of the story, but crucially, the movie doesn't treat anxiety as some evil, conniving monster. Anxiety isn't your enemy, it's not trying to hurt you, it's trying to help you, it just does so in a profoundly unhelpful way. And And Anxiety's journey in Inside Out 2 is realizing the negative impact she's having. All throughout the movie, Anxiety wants what's best for Riley and naively thinks she's doing the right thing. And at first, being anxious and second-guessing everything is actually useful for Riley. It helps her make new friends, it helps her push herself to become a better hockey player. But then the ugly side effects start to emerge. She abandons her best friends, she stays up at night obsessing over what-ifs, and she forgets that there's no I in team. If the first film was about embracing sadness and understanding the positive role it plays in a healthy emotional state, then the second one is about learning to live with anxiety and overcoming its negative effects. And it doesn't just peddle an easy and impractical answer like most Hollywood movies that tackle complex problems. It actually has some useful advice. Calm down, take deep breaths. None of the things you're worried about are actually happening right now. Focus on the things you can control and not on the things you can't control. That's all really good advice that'll actually come in handy when anxiety strikes. Compare this to a scene from the recent Bad Boys Ride or Die, in which Will Smith suffers from a panic attack and Martin Lawrence repeatedly slaps him in the face to snap him out of it. Not only is that a tasteless reference to Smith's little hiccup at the Oscars, it goes without saying that it's a terrible way to deal with anxiety.
Bing Bong! We did it! Bing Bong? Bing Bong!
You made it! Go save Riley!
Take her to the moon for me, okay?
Inside Out 2 doesn't have any one moment you can point to that breaks your heart like the death of Bing Bong did in the first film. But that's such an iconic, deeply affecting moment that there's no way the sequel could have topped it. Across the Spider-Verse didn't have a moment that hit on the same level as the first film's leap of faith, but the filmmakers were wise to avoid trying to match that. When you create one of the most memorable moments in movie history, you're best just leaving it alone rather than trying to recapture lightning in a bottle in the sequel. And just because there's nothing as devastating as the death of Bing Bong, it doesn't mean Inside Out 2 goes easy on your heartstrings. There are plenty of moments that'll have you tearing up.
I'm the Messiah. I am Marvel Jesus.
Inside Out 2 is one of two films this summer burdened with single-handedly saving their fledgling studios. Even if Deadpool and Wolverine is an amazing movie, I don't think it'll be enough to save Marvel. But Inside Out 2 is so funny, so profound, and so heartwarming that it just might be able to save Pixar.
Riley, how was camp? It was good.
Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you liked the video. Remember to like and subscribe and click on the little bell. And also seize the day and call your mom and be kind to yourself.